Dear younger self, well, we did it, girl. We did it. We made it to 29. Can you believe it? Because I really can't. I don't know where you are on our timeline, whether you're the fresh, confident Lydia whose goal is just to make the world a brighter place, or you're the Lydia who's wondering what happened to that girl.
And I have never felt like that before.
What happened to the girl that used to light up the room when she walked in? But all I can say to you is thank you. Thank you for pushing through and keeping on going. Thank you for all the days where you couldn't even get out of bed and you didn't want to be here anymore for continuing on, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You are so strong and brave beyond belief, and you have no idea how much courage, strength, and inner beauty you have. You are the most strongest person that I know, because I know what you've been through, and yet you've picked yourself up, you've dusted yourself, and you've come back fighting 10 times harder than you ever had. So, 29 years on this earth, and 21-year-old self, you didn't even think we'd make it to 22, let alone now. I'm gonna tell you what, it's been one hell of a wild ride. I remember when I was younger, I would look at people who were in their late 20s and like people who were 29 years old, and I would look at them and I would think, oh my God, they're adults. Like, they are adults. They know what they're doing. They're the grown-ups. They have their life together. But the closer I've gotten to 29, the more I've realized that nobody, and I literally mean nobody, even my mum, who's like my idealization of an adult, hasn't got their life together. Everyone is literally just trying to make it to the next day and is trying to keep their head above the water and trying not to drown in the chaos of life. Everyone, when they're younger, has these expectations of how their life is going to play out. They have these idealizations of what their life is going to be as they're older. And I know my younger self imagined that by the age of 29 that she would be married, she would be living in London. She definitely would have thought that she had some type of money. I don't know where she was expecting the money to come from, but she was thinking that she was going to live this extravagant lifestyle. So I want to say to my younger self, no, we aren't married like we thought we would be, with 3 children. You know, we've not found our Prince Charming at the moment at the age of 29. We came close once, but of course life got in the way and it didn't turn out the way we expected. I mean, we definitely didn't marry Daniel Radcliffe like we were determined we will be, and I don't want to break the heart of my 11-year-old self, but the Hogwarts letter never turned up. No owls were outside of our house at any point, which is so devastating, even though we spent a lot of our days before our birthday looking for them. Also, younger self, I hate to break it to you, but you know how we have this weird obsession with London? It's like our soulmate city. You know, people always say, how could you love it? Like, it's so busy. But the busy streets has this crazy power over you that I can't explain to anyone else. But we're not there yet. We're still living at home with mum. And before younger self, you start freaking out, that's a really good thing.
Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to.
But because I've had all of these expectations of how I thought my life was going to play out, because that's what my younger self thought, that has actually left me feeling a whole way through my 20s like I was a failure. I felt like I've been behind everyone else. I felt like I am failing at life because I'm not where I thought I would be.
I'm feeling really low recently and I don't know what's been up with me.
And that's honestly caused me so much heartbreak and so much pain throughout my 20s that has actually left me angry with myself. And it's also left me angry with the people around me, because I thought that I would be further than I thought I was. And so no, I'm not living in the places that I expected to be. I'm not in the place that I thought I would be. And
oh my god, you scared the life out of me, girls. No.
Living at home for most of my 20s has filled me with a lot of resentment. And I felt ashamed that I was living at home. And I've tried so many times to flee the nest and to move out with boyfriends and even try and move up to London for a month. But I've always ended back at home, and I've ended back in the safe arms of my mum.
Oh, I feel really overwhelmed.
But no matter how hard I try to break out of it and I start living my life, somehow I end up back home. And I'm so bloody thankful. I could not be happier that I've gone through this and that I've been living at home, because it's given me time to get back to Lydia. And I mean the Lydia who beams with joy and has so much love when she speaks to people, not the Lydia who's literally been hiding away in her house because her anxiety was so crippling. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still struggle to make eye contact sometimes, but I'm her again.
Just get some food.
And that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for being at home. We're told that our 20s should be the best time of our life and we should not waste it, because once it's gone, it's all downhill, and then you're in your 30s and your life is over. And because of that, I have once again felt like a failure, because most of my 20s was me struggling with my mental health.
Such a bad day today. Like, I'm trying so hard to be this happy, positive person, because that's who I am. But it's so hard when you're constantly battling your own head.
Feeling alone as I never found my people like I was promised I would to by that age. And I haven't been out most weekends dancing the night away and finding love in a hopeless place like Rihanna once promised me. You know, I hadn't gone traveling like most people at that age. But instead, for me, my 20s has been completely different from what I realized it would be. Instead, my 20s has been a time of self-development and growing and finding my passions. And guess what, younger self? You are now at the age of 29 and you're finally following your dreams like you always knew you would. I know you aren't a tennis player like we thought we would, but we found this new love. And something about that has given you more joy than you ever thought possible. And you've learned that you're a creative. I mean, who bloody knew? Because I didn't. Where the hell did this come from? But you are here and you're healing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. If I have learned one thing in my 20s, it's that the saying that your 20s should be the best time of your life is absolute rubbish. I mean, chuck that advice in the bin and shove it where the sun don't shine, because if your 20s is the best time of your life, then really it's downhill from me. I am screwed, because mine was rubbish. It was horrendous. It was the worst time of my life, and I forever know will be the worst time of my life. And it's rubbish. Your 20s is one of the most confusing times of your life. It's a time of being lost. It's a time of being confused, because you've literally just come out from being a child and turned to an adult a few years earlier. You've literally been guided your whole entire life. You've had school, you've had your parents doing everything for you, even down to not having to choose your foods or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, you're just bam, you're off into this world, and it's terrifying. And suddenly other people around you haven't got their parents taking control, and they start to become their own person too. And it's a time of constantly being worried about what other people think of you. It's a time of constantly feeling behind when you've only just started the race. And if I could go back in time, I would say to whoever said to me that your 20s is the best time of your life, I would tell them to shut up. I would literally put my hand on their lips and say, don't say another word. It feels like you have all of these milestones in your 20s. You should have the dream job, the perfect partner, thinking of getting married, maybe having kids, having the house that you've always dreamed of. And you're meant to have everything in this time. So how can it be the best time of your life when the whole time you're panicking about the facts that you aren't hitting all of these made up milestones? The 20s are a time of anxiety, they're a time of worrying you aren't doing the right thing, the feeling that you're behind and feeling like you're wasting your life. But that's not the case.
God, my room is literally a tip.
Okay, let's do something. Right, I really want to organize all of my things. I was out in town yesterday to go for like drinks and things, and I was wearing an outfit and I really hated it, and it made me feel so self-conscious that I nearly had like a panic attack. So I really wanted today is just go through all of my clothes and like throw away the items that make me feel rubbish, because I do it all the time where I'll put outfits on and then I'll come away feeling like really panicky and really low in myself, and I'm like, well, why do I just still keep them? So I know it's my birthday, but I just want to, 29 is a new era. It's no longer the crop tops and all of that kind of stuff. It's feeling elegant. I'm going into my elegant era, and I just want to get rid of some items that just make me feel like rubbish about myself. So I'm gonna do that quick and sort out my drawers. Exciting birthday stuff. Birthdays are a really weird time for me, and I think genuinely sometimes for me the loneliest day in the year. When I was younger, I dreamed of big birthdays with loads of friends around me, friends, family, going out and partying till late in the morning, but they've never been like that for me. My birthday is in the middle of the summer, and everyone was always away for my birthday. And 2, no one ever seemed to remember my birthday. I'm the type of person who waits up till 12 to send happy birthdays. I have reminders on my phone that the day before so that I don't ever forget anyone's birthday. But for me, no one ever remembers it. Obviously, apart from my mum, because she's obsessed with birthdays as much as I am. I feel like these trousers are older than me. So these were actually my mum's that she got years and years. DNKNY? I didn't realize they were from there. What the heck? 28. I don't even know if they will fit. But my mum got these years and years ago. I feel like they're like the same age as me. But I have kept them for years in hopes that one day I'll be able to like go on a beach and get to wear them. And it's so funny because these are so old, and yet look, they're like back in fashion at the moment. I could probably sell those and get a lot for that on Vinted. No, I will be on a beach one day sipping drinks. That is the goal. That is the goal, and I'll be able to do it one day. I haven't been on a beach holiday since I was 13, and I will one day be able to have a beach holiday again. That's the plan. And I think getting older is about stopping putting so much pressure on yourself and also on other people. Making assumptions that people will treat you the same way that you treat them only leads to heartbreak and sadness. And over the years, it has let me down, and it's led to me having sad birthdays. And slowly I've started to learn to enjoy just doing nothing. Over the years, I've learned that the only ever consistent in your life is you. But once you realize that the only person who won't let you down is you, there comes so much more happiness in your life. Right, that is all of those. So I'm apparently keeping all of my outfits. Okay, it's just about making sure that I pair them with things that I actually like. Right. Okay, well, Also, another thing that's going to shock the pants off of you is the fact that we've changed the way we dress as well. Yeah, sorry, tomboy me. It's now all about the pink, and we're living our best Barbie life. And I know you would absolutely despise it, but oh my gosh, do we feel good. We've got so much more confidence now, which we didn't have before. And it's amazing. And all of the years of being bullied for how we look, you can finally look in the mirror again. 20-year-old self, we don't think we're a monster anymore. After years of hating every single thing about ourselves, from our body to our personality to the way we look to the way we speak, everything, we finally love ourselves again. No, we haven't found our Prince Charming, but we've found love in ourselves. Honestly, finding fitness is the best thing that's ever happened to us. And if I could go back in time and tell you, start sooner, because the way it has helped our mental health is ridiculous. Now, younger self, I'm going to tell you something that is probably going to freak you out more than anything. But you know how we have that fear about gaining weight? Yeah, well, we have. Okay, no, stop freaking out, okay? Stop freaking out, because it's the best thing that has happened to you. And yes, I am dead serious. You eventually get rid of that mindset that if you can't see your ribs, then you're overweight. And we say goodbye to that size 4, and we are now a size 10. And guess what? You're hardly sick anymore. And yeah, I'm not lying about that. Can you imagine? We've gone from being sick every few weeks to not even being sick this year. I know. Can you believe it? And you know what? You know how we don't like being alone and we don't like being with our thoughts? Well, we're slowly learning to love them. And a lot of that shift has really come from bettering my mental health. And yes, younger self, we have really struggled with our mental health. And hey, all of these mental health issues that we've had, well, it turns out it was all ADHD.
Sometimes I just wish it was easier, you know, like it was just not as much as a fight that I have to have every single day. I've gotten so far with like my mental health and recognizing things inside of me that I'm going through my diagnosis at the moment for ADHD. I'm on the waiting list and stuff, but it's just sometimes you just really wish you were normal and not someone who struggles as much as I frickin' do, because I'm just really struggling. I know I'm fine, I know I'm completely fine and I can just get through it, but days like this I just wish it was a little bit easier.
You're going to be extremely let down by the health services, but we will get there. It's really hard when I look back over pictures from when I'm younger, because when I see them now, I can see how much I was hiding behind a giant smile and funny faces, and someone who was looking at them would probably think, wow, that girl is so happy. But all I see is a girl riddled with anxiety, feeling her skin crawl all the time because of how scared she is and how anxious she is feeling behind every one of the smiles. And it actually breaks my heart. And to the young girl that is on that beanbag with the biggest smile, it kills me to see that. As I know it was just after we lost our nan, and I can remember how sad you were and being told how boring you were being because I was feeling sad. So I tried to hide it, but it now all makes sense. And when I look at these smiles in the pictures now, I actually see a happy girl that isn't faking it anymore. After taking some time to realize that the only way that I could heal myself really came from within, it changed a whole lot of my life. From starting to exercise, from starting to eat right, from starting to journal, going to therapy, doing affirmations,
Lucky girl syndrome,
sharing my thoughts, fighting through my anxieties. I finally built up these techniques that I can be able to use and get myself out of any situation that I go through.
Right, done with the workout. Yay. Oh no, no I'm not. Oh no. Okay, no I'm not. I lied. Okay, last bit of the workout and then I'm done. I need to do a little bit of abs.
I am so strong, and I am an extremely strong warrior who can fight against any demon that comes into her mind now, which I couldn't do in the early parts of my early 20s. And now, with the self-development that I've been going through in my 20s, I know that no matter what I go through, no matter what happens in my later stage of life, that whatever happens to the future Lydia that's more in the future than she is now, that she is going to be able to fight harder than she has ever thought before.
Now we are done with the workout.
Be sad, don't be lonely. Don't you know that I love you only? Just be.
Not had many friends in my 20s, and there's a massive stigma around not having loads of hundreds of friends in your 20s. There must be something weird about you because you don't have people around you, or you must be a horrible person. And yes, younger self, we don't have many friends, but it's not that anyone thinks that maybe it's just because you haven't found your people yet. That it feels like even though we're more connected than ever with social media, that it's actually becoming harder to make connections because people are now viewed as expendable. We're like the new phone. It's become harder and harder to find connections. It's on to the next one if this model's getting a bit old and boring and there's a new exciting version that's suddenly come out. Well, we're going to want to go and use that instead. No one speaks about how difficult it can be to genuinely make friends in your late 20s or 30s But for me, there's been a real shift in myself on how I see the idea around friends, because before I was so desperate to have connections with people that I would just latch onto the first person who came into my life, even if they weren't right for me. I would bring in negative energies that would tear me down until, like a moth, they would eat away at my golden heart until it was dull and lifeless. And now that I see that my time is a precious thing and that you have to deserve to be able to take a chunk out of my day, that you have to be a kind person who's able to come into my life. And that's completely shifted the energies that have been coming into my world. I now have people coming in who care and support me, who understand what I've been through. And I've shifted my whole perspective and stopped seeing myself as a minor character in my own life. I've shifted my perspective to me being my own main character. And that the other characters that are coming in are just for development, or they're coming in to teach me a lesson. And it's completely changed how I look at my time and how I look at me. But now, after isolating myself for many years away from the world, I've shifted my idea to realise that I am a good person. And to not let others come into my life unless they deserve to be there.
I feel like 29 is going to be a weird year for me. A great one. I don't know. I feel like each year I've really been just growing as a person, as a human being. I've literally just been growing. I feel like my 20s hasn't been a period of, I feel like it's really been 10 years of self-development, self-growth, learning who I am, getting back to being who I am and finding myself. And each day is a learning day. And one thing I really love about myself is the fact that I can pick myself up and dust myself off and come back fighting back 10 times harder than I ever had before. I don't know what it is. Even this past few days, these past few weeks, I've been looking at things in myself and noticing things in myself and wondering what the hell was going on in those periods. Like, I've just been so in my head about other people doing well, putting pressure on myself that I didn't need to do. And now I feel like this whole weight has just been lifted off my shoulders. And what amazing day to do it about on my birthday. But I really do feel like this weight is lifted off my shoulders. And I feel like, I don't know, just something feels good inside of me again. I've been going through a lot recently. Like this past year, I think 28 was a year of 27 and 28 was a year of going through a lot of things, showing me what life could be like, taking it away, it being ripped away from me in a matter of days. But it's I don't know, I've just been constantly growing and learning. There's been a lot of freaking self-development. I don't know what, whoever is my guide is putting me through the ringer, but you know, I'm actually really glad for it, because it feels like I'm just waking up each day and I'm not a different person, like it's the same Lydia, but like a better version of myself, which I love that about me. I do. I love that about me. Do you know what? For years, I've just been like, so many bad things are happening in my life, and it's been crazy, and my 20s have been horrible. But now I look at it, I think I am really so lucky. I'm so lucky. What a great trait to have as a human being, that I can learn stuff about myself and go, do you know what? I don't like that side of me. I don't like that I've got this little weird tweak. I've got this bit that I'm not so happy about, but now I can change it. And I see aspects in myself. You know, a lot of people get stuck, and I feel like I am a person of growth. I'm like a butterfly. I go into my cocoon and I break out, and I'm this different one. I've got new wings. I've got new colors towards me, and I'm growing and I'm changing and I'm becoming the person that I want to be. I've never been like, I am this person, I love her and she's never gonna change. I am the person who grows and changes and grows and changes and grows and changes. I'm like a freaking butterfly. I'm like a monarch butterfly. What a great trait to have. And I've only just kind of realized that. How lucky am I that as a human being, I'm going through all of these character developments, but they're not hindering me, they're accelerating me into this new incredible character who's going through the different chapters of our lives. And the next chapter is 29. 29! And it feels like it's going to be a good one. I've really thought of every birthday like as a negative thing, like it's another year. What's it going to be thrown at me now? And for the first time I feel like it's another year. What is going to be thrown at me now? And I'm excited for the future ahead. I feel grateful in my life for the first time. I feel ready. I've made some big moves already this year and last year to make my life the best it's ever been to be. Best it's ever gonna be. I've taken chances on myself. I'm chasing my dreams. I'm not doing anything for other people anymore. I'm doing it solely for myself, and I'm just growing.
I'm so grateful. I've been so emotional for the past 2 days of like, I'm so proud of my younger self to get me here so that I can feel like this, because I never felt like this before. I'm feeling excitement in my life. Like I haven't, the age of 16, it felt like everything just crumbled in on me. And now this year I'm so excited for what my future self has. And I've never felt like that in the past. I've never felt like this in the past, where I'm excited for my life, and now I feel like I'm so excited for what the future holds. And I'm so proud of myself for hanging on, because she really went through the rigour and she really struggled, and now she's just, I get to be this present self who is the Lydia that she always knew I was. You know, I went through these phases of feeling lost, not knowing who I was, being not the best person that I knew that I always was, because I know I'm a kind person, I'm an amazing person, and she got lost for a while because I was getting so hurt by other people. And now I'm here, and I'm 29 years old, and I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited for what life has in store for me. And I have never felt like that on a birthday before. I can't believe it. For once, it feels like I have a clear path in my life, and I'm gonna live it. I've lived so much of my life in regret, and for the first time I don't feel like I'm regretting anything. I feel like it came to an end right here, right now, I feel like I would actually be proud of myself, because I made some choices for myself and I'm living my life now for me. I'm ready for 29. I'm excited for 29. I'm excited for this year. How exciting is that?
That whatever happens to the future Lydia, because she is going to be able to fight harder than she has ever fought before. And she's going to be in a better place than she has ever been. And that's down to the hard work that you have been putting in, younger self. So thank you. Thank you so much for fighting so hard against those times when we didn't even want to be here. On our darkest days, where we thought the world would be a better place without us, you carried on. And now we have these tools, we have these kits that we can use, and we can fight every day. And I know now that there is nothing that we cannot face, that we cannot pick ourselves up from. But we're doing okay, I promise. We have done so many amazing things. We have quit our job to chase our dreams. We have got a dog who honestly has saved you more than you have saved her. We've got to do a bit of traveling, not as much as we'd like, but we've got to go back home to India. The 20s are the most confusing times. They are painful, they are hard, they are a time of feeling lost, but it's also a time of highs. Times of self-discovery, of learning who you are. So younger self, no, we aren't married, no, we don't have our own place. Yes, we've had years of pain, heartbreak, joy, love, and all I can say is thank you. Thank you for enduring the pain, the sadness, because right now, as your future self, I can tell you that it gets better. We are happy, we are full of life, we are confident, we are living life to the fullest like we always dreamed of. We are taking our moments, we are standing tall, and most importantly, we're laughing again. Thank you, younger self. And I know it's hard, I know it feels like you can barely keep carrying on, but you will. And one day you will be looking back and you'll be thinking, if I could change anything, would I? No, we wouldn't. We'd do it all over again.